Hello, everybody, and welcome to the It's in Queens podcast covering events in the borough, the world's most diverse borough, between April 26th and May 2nd, 2019. Again, we have a just jam-packed week, so I've only taken a few of the events. Please go to itsinqueens.com if you want to see more. There are probably more than 25 things to do this weekend.
Easily.
And there's everything from movies and theater to concerts and visual art, a bunch of visual art things. So, and there are things that are left over. There are a lot of things that started last week that are still going and going.
These things have a shelf life.
Yeah. These things they will end though.
They will eventually.
Anyway, as always, I'm Rob Mackay.
Welcome back, Rob. I couldn't wait to
you.
introduce yourself. I was so excited. I had this real drip on the show last week. I don't know if you guys caught it.
Last week, I could not make the podcast, and so the man Tukupai, the man who does the controls, went to the other side of the
all-powerful Oz.
Yes.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yes, and they did a great job. He even told us about his Uncle Gary.
That's right.
Although he's now saying that his Uncle Gary might just be an imaginative figment. Did you hear that?
I heard it. I heard things.
He might have had
rumors,
a poetic license while doing his show.
That's all right.
Anyway, let's begin. One thing I noticed about last week was that you did everything chronologically.
I did.
So maybe I should start doing that, or at least once.
I like the way you break it out into like different segments.
Yeah.
I only had the chronological order, so I had to just go off.
Okay. Well,
but,
all right.
you do what you do, Rob.
I'm going to do a couple of things from each day and keep it chronological.
Let's get in there.
The one thing is that since you're welcoming me back, Queens of the Night, or Reinas de la Noche, is back by popular demand.
Thank goodness.
Do you remember this one?
I do, from last year.
This is LGBTQ
all inclusive,
a musical.
Sure.
That was at Thalia Spanish Theatre for the first time ever, a world premiere last year.
Yep.
And it was so popular that they're doing it again. It opens on April 26th, and it will run through May 9th with shows on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Now, there's, Colombia, the country of Colombia.
Of course.
There's a very famous transgender performer who goes by the name of Pamela Sue Martin.
Now, wasn't that like a Dallas actress, like an actress on the show?
Oh, really?
Dallas?
Is that where she?
Pamela Sue
Martin. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's a famous actress. But go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
But
I could be just.
Well, this Pamela Sue, the Colombian Pamela Sue.
Yeah, Colombian Pamela Sue. That's what we're talking about now.
Is very talented. There's a contest in there's like a Miss Colombia transgender.
Oh, nice.
That
she's a victor.
Won. Yeah, very good singer and dancer. Colombia, salsa country. So they've got Pamela Sue in town to collaborate and make any differences that needed to be known.
There's
all kind of singing and dancing, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds like a good time.
And the crowd gets into it. Along those lines of music, there's someone named Renee Rosnes. Now, apparently, and I can't, from personal experience, vouch for this, but in the jazz world, she's famous, a pianist, famous for improvisation and really putting on a show, doing it's not just watching a piano recital, it's watching a whole show. Yeah. And she'll be here with her quartet, also on Friday at Flushing Town Hall. This isn't a 2-week stay.
No, this is a one-shot deal.
This is a one-shot deal. And a friend of mine who works at the Flushing Town Hall, where it's going to be, says this is one of their best gets. They're doing Flushing Town Hall. They're doing almost 150 shows in half a year. He said that this is very respected in the jazz world. I unfortunately cannot add anything to that. Can you?
No, but I tell you,
heavy metal, rock and roll, rap.
Yeah. I'm contemporary music. Jazz is a little too heady for me. I'd like to.
You like to go crazy.
I like to lose it.
Do air guitar.
I like to lose myself.
Up and down
sure.
On your
I did see on last week Flushing Town Hall when they did their their mix. What's their international
Yeah,
mix?
the global mashup.
Global mashup. It was being televised on Facebook Live by QPTV.
Oh,
so I
okay.
tuned in for a good half an hour.
good.
It was a really good show.
it great?
Yeah,
Ah,
it was
that's
Cuban
fun.
and bluegrass. Yeah, really nice show.
Cuban music.
Yeah, it's great.
What it's all about. Speaking of which, yesterday I was taking a walk at the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Dropping names.
who do I walk by but the guy who had those chimes at the Flushing Town Hall?
Oh, no kidding.
He's walking that way. I'm like, and I said, "Hey, you're the guy who makes chimes out of garbage."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh well, so your show's done at the Flushing Town Hall?" He goes, "Yeah, all done." And I said, "Well, you're
Did he have a good show? Did he have a good run?
Yeah, he loved it. And,
Nice.
And he got so famous that he couldn't even go on a nature walk without the
Now without-
paparazzi
yeah, look
coming
at you.
after
Yeah.
him. He
He
was a little bit. He was a
like
little
the
bit freaked
TMZ
out.
for the Queen set.
Something tells me that when he walks around the streets of Manhattan, people don't come up to him and say, "Oh, you're the guy who makes musical instruments out of garbage." Anyway, but I caught him. He can't get away from me.
Yeah, no one escapes you, buddy.
Anyway, moving to April 27th, Saturday, Latin Dance Fiesta. Again, Latin music. This is the 4th annual. It's at Queen's Theater. They started it a couple of years ago just kind of for fun, and it's actually become pretty big. They have dancers who put on a show this year. There are 4 different troupes doing traditional dances from Chile, Guatemala, Haiti, and Uruguay. So who knows what, Haiti could be probably that compa music. Uruguay could be tango. In fact, I think it is tango. I saw the photo. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Chile and Guatemala. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of
Different styles
A lot of
that could
different
be out of there.
styles.
Yep.
I mean, gosh, Latin America is not one monoculture.
You cannot
that's for
paint
sure.
it with a broad brush.
You cannot paint it with a broad brush. So that's back, 4th annual. And Jack Eichenbaum. Jack, talk about a guy who we should
Queen's
have on the
historian.
show.
He definitely needs to be on. We've missing the boat on that one.
For those of you who don't know him, Jack Eichenbaum is the official Queen's historian.
That's right.
As per a designation by
Borough President.
Melinda Katz. I wonder if she moves on to DA, what happens to his designation? I want that. I want that.
Oh,
for us.
yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
eventually.
Listen, we'll
Anyway.
just have him eliminated.
The other, along those lines, there's a poet laureate. Queens has an official
Queen's
poet
poet laureate.
It's only a 3-year segment, and
Yes.
that's ending. So the borough president is looking for a new poet laureate.
Let me
If you know of
start
anyone,
going.
if anyone wants to be the poet laureate, go to her
Roses are
website.
red,
Yeah, roses are red.
violets are blue.
I'm
Queens is
schizophrenic.
awesome, and so are you.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, Jack Eichenbaum, every year he does his signature tour. He leads a lot of walking tours around different parts of the borough.
Yeah.
His signature big one is the 7 train, and he actually comes down from the 7 train taking people. And it's about 6.5 hours.
Okay.
But every year he makes it a little different. And this year he's actually starting in Hudson Yards in
Oh,
Manhattan.
well, it's the latest stop on the
Yep. So he'll
7 train.
talk a little bit about that. He'll take you into Long Island City, talk about Long Island City. Then he does a Woodside Jackson Heights thing, Corona thing with the Iron Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
And in Flushing ends with food. So that is the April 27th. You have to be in Manhattan by 10 o'clock.
Now, you grew up in Brooklyn, right?
Uh-huh.
But did you ever, like in Queens, where I grew up, we used to ride the 7 train end to end. That was like a big thing for us.
Well,
That would waste a day.
So I think I had that with the A train because the A train is the longest.
What, do you
if I'm
Duke
not
Ellington?
mistaken, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the A train is the longest.
That's a jazz
one.
joke.
That is a jazz joke. Tell us about Renee Rosnes. The A train
is the longest. Yeah,
goes the longest.
Wood,
It goes
Rockaway all the way
through
to Inwood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think, and I also remember once talking about trying to see if we could ride every single train in New York
Beginning
City
to
in a
end?
day.
Oh, in a day.
You couldn't do it in a day. But we
No.
were talking about it on a rainy day.
Didn't someone do that as like a world record attempt to try
maybe.
to ride every train?
If I were young and had time, I might just try it. But not the way they are today. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, these kids today.
Mr. De Blasio, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
All right. The next day, Saturday, or actually Sunday, the April 28th, we got 2 events back at Queen's Theater. Wow, it's a triple for Queen's Theater.
Yeah,
what
busy
about them?
time over there.
Anne of Green Gables. Did you ever read those series? Lecture series?
I did not, no.
It's more.
The young adult stuff?
Well, I don't know if I can say this without being accused of being a dinosaur, but it's like chick lit. young girl.
Oh, chick lit.
Yeah, chick lit.
Yeah, they call it young adult now.
It's it's the story of an orphan. There's a husband and wife that live on a farm in Prince Edward Island.
Where you get the mussels.
Yeah, exactly. In Canada, right? And they want to have a boy, they want to have a baby, but they can't. And all of a sudden, this vivacious orphan
shows up at the door,
and she just knocks their socks off. Everyone loves her, and she finds family and finds home with this on this island, and then there's a whole series so you can follow her on her different adventures. And
I like it.
It was the kind of thing that
And you read these?
Well, I think my sister read them.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think my wife read them, and I think my eldest daughter read them. Yeah. So can I say I've been around them?
Yeah.
Anyway,
you're adjacent too.
Anyway, Art Power, which is a great nonprofit, is putting on this show. They're doing one at 1:00 on Sunday, and then they're doing what's called an ASL interpretation sensory relaxed performance at 3 p.m. Have you heard about these?
Well, they're obviously doing sign language, or
no? It's for autistics, for people that get too much
stimulation,
and it makes them go. The lights go down dimmer, the noise is lower and stuff. Nice. They're doing that. They do that. They've been doing that at the Museum of the Moving Image with some of their movies for a while. So you got that. You got 1:00, 3:00.
1:00, 3:00 is the ASL one, right?
But at 3:00 also, which I guess it must be downstairs.
Different theater. Queen's Theater has made up of different sized
there are
performance venues.
I think there's a main stage,
right,
and
there's a cabaret.
Yeah.
Look at us.
And one of them's named after Claire Schulman, our borough president.
Look at that.
You know? I don't know.
The Schulman Theater.
The Schulman Theater. That's right.
The one named after
Claire Schulman is the one. Yeah. What? Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Napoleon.
Very good. There's a guy named Trey S.D. who is a historian, actor, writer. Done a lot of research on the Aquacade, Billy Rose's Aquacade. That was during the World's Fair.
The first one, though, right?
The first one, 3940. It's where there was an open air atrium, and a lot of Hollywood's biggest talent of the day performed there.
I always said that one that was on the water that was next to the Queen's. Was it next to the Queen's
That's
Theater?
Not the Aquacade?
Well, that's the Aquacade. That's the Aquacade. They should have held on to that. They should have tried to fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
Bummer.
It is a bummer. Anyway, so this guy, Trey S.D., has put together a one-man, one-act play that he's going to perform based on the Hollywood's, everything that he's researched about the Aquacade.
It's the 70th anniversary of the 1939. Oh, wait, it's the 80th anniversary.
Do you know, if we were to jump...
What's 39 minus 80?
39 minus 18?
No,
math is hard, man.
Math is so hard.
Math is difficult. Do you know that Goldie Hawn was discovered at the 1963 World's Fair?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they'd hired actresses, and she was like 17 or something like that. She'd moved up from Maryland, where she grew up.
I've been wearing a crop top in Flushing Meadows Park for years, and no one's ever discovered me.
Never discovered you? Well, you came at the wrong time,
I guess. It's all about timing.
So, Monday, April 30th, International Jazz Day.
Yeah, baby. That's hip, Daddy.
Hep. All right.
I'm a hep cat.
You're a hep cat. So, Resorts World Casino will be piping jazz music throughout the whole casino from 12 to 3. And then at 3 o'clock, the Masahiro Sakuma Trio will play covers of Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, and other jazz greats.
That's our guy.
There will be a special drink. And in fact, if you remember, this right here is
Louis.
This right here is Louis Latimer, the man who helped invent the telephone and the light bulb.
Okay.
And has used to live in Flushing, Queens, where he lived is now a historic museum.
That's right.
The other cardboard cutout that we keep here at the office is of Louis Armstrong, who lived in Corona, not far away. Anyway, that cutout is not with us for this production, for this podcast, because He's already over at Resorts World.
So take your pictures and tag Where's Louis on social media?
Louis Armstrong will be at Resorts World the entire day on April 30th.
Look at that.
Go get your photo next to
one of our Lewises.
One of our Lewises. And there's going to be a happy hour where the special drink is called Bee's Knees.
Oh.
That's a song reference?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald?
I'm going to say yes, because why not?
All right, very good. Yeah. Same day.
You're the Bee's Knees.
Same day, but at night, Queens College, they do an evening reading series.
Yep, reading series.
They did it past years.
Yep.
And they're starting up a new one where different people who've written books will come and read their own work, or they'll get, in this case, they're hiring an actress to read, or actually to do an adaptation of the book Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl by Harriet Jacobs. Now, Harriet Jacobs was born a slave in North Carolina in 1813, and she actually hid in an attic for about 6 or 7 years, kind of like the Anne Frank story,
sure.
And wrote this book, hiding so she didn't have to be a slave.
Well, good for her.
So it's kind of like, it's sort of an American version of Anne Frank.
It's a rough gig, right? I mean, just have to hide because you can't live your life.
Because you got, exactly. Anyway, there's a professional actress who will play this out, and followed, of course, by a discussion. Kind of interesting. Then we have on May 1st, monthly jazz jam.
Just
the
monthly
monthly
for
jazz
International
jams?
Jazz Day.
Right.
Yep.
Flushing Town Hall. If you play an instrument, go to Flushing Town Hall on May 1st, and you'll see a whole bunch of other musicians. You don't have to pay anything to do it. You just jam.
Nice.
You get together. And if you don't play an instrument,
don't go. No.
No.
Go and watch and appreciate.
Go and listen. Yes.
You're a didgeridoo player, right? That's like your...
No, I don't have any talent, unfortunately.
I think podcasting is a talent you have.
That's a mediocre talent. And then the other thing I want to say is that there's that same day, May 1st, Noguchi Musuem will open up a new exhibition.
I heard they're getting an expansion. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
They are.
Right?
They're going to take they are getting an expansion.
That's good for them.
Anyway, they're doing, Isamu Noguchi was a sculptor. He was born in Los Angeles to a famous Japanese poet who I'm not sure he really ever met or didn't meet when he was a kid, and an American woman. And he kind of grew up between the United States and Japan. And he went through a time when
the Pacific Ocean?
No.
Sorry, I get it.
Not in between.
Right. Yeah. So he split his time.
Exactly. But
just joshing you, buddy.
He was multi-talented. I mean, he did sculpture, furniture design. There was a time when he was hanging out with a Japanese artist whose name is Hasegawa.
Yeah.
Okay, Saburo Hasegawa.
That guy's famous.
And apparently, you've heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
if he made it to me, that means
right. So he helped. The two of them had a mutual respect for each other, and he helped Noguchi with the Japanese aspect of his creativity.
Oh, nice.
So there's
a mentor. Everyone needs a mentor, I think, right?
And he was, and so there's a 90 piece. It's got almost 90 pieces. They'll be on exhibit, and some of them are by one influenced by the other, and some are by the other influenced by the first one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun, and that'll actually be up until July 14th.
So there you go. There's an ongoing exhibition that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You brought it all around.
Yep. That's so that's about it for me. But I know since it's my first day back after a week off, I must be a little rusty.
You're not rusty at all. What
have I missed?
You got everything we needed to talk about today. I just thought there were a couple of things that I thought were cool.
Okay.
Just two things.
Give it to us.
Resorts World, you mentioned for the jazz. They also have they're going to have a doo-wop show on Sunday, 4/28 by the Accords.
Doo-wop.
Yeah, so I love doo-wop.
So do I.
Again, it's the stuff that you were listening to. Here's the difference between CBS FM, Cousin Brucey,
Do you remember
Don
Cousin
K.
Brucey?
Reed, Doo-Wop Shop. Yeah, sure, I remember them all. What was it? Broadway Bill Lee, right? Yeah.
Dion DiMucci and
Dion and the Belmonts. Yeah, they were from the Bronx.
They were from Belmont Avenue in the Bronx.
But yeah, so that's the kind. And when I was growing up as a kid, there was no controlling the radio in the car. Like my father is in control. I'm driving in control. When I'm driving, my son's playlist is playing all the time.
Really? That
So
is nice of you.
I'm
But doesn't
very.
that drive you crazy?
It's driving me nuts, and I
Oh,
think
my
I have
daughter's
things that are going to have to
music drives me
change. Yeah,
crazy, too.
I think it's going to have to change.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool show. Sunday the 428 at Resorts, and then
But wait, was your dad a doo-wop guy?
oh yeah,
He loved it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good.
Tone deaf, however. Yeah, but he used to, he grew up on 60th Street in Manhattan, so they used to sing under the 59th Street Bridge. You get that echo from under the
So
tunnel.
he was a real doo-wop guy.
Yeah, but he can't carry a tune, even if it had a handle. But he likes to sing.
Okay.
Let him be. He's old, Rob. What do you
So
have to pick on him for?
sorry. That's Sunday. That's Sunday the 28th.
Sunday the
right?
28th at
Okay.
Resorts. And then on 426, which must be a Friday, is Tambor y Cana, an Afro-Venezuelan troupe playing at Terraza 7, which is like a cool
Terraza, Jackson Heights. Yeah, I've
Jackson
been there.
Heights venue. Yeah.
It's a nice bar, but it also has a stage to sit down in. And
That's
stuff.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I think Afro-Venezuela's music is pretty cool, too.
Yeah, definitely. Tambor y
So-
caña, so caña, sugarcane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Yeah, Venezuela and
So just two more picks,
two more picks,
things
two
you
more
can find
possibilities.
to do.
It just never ends.
You know what I'm really excited about, though, is on May 7th.
May 7th. What happens on May 7th?
I heard that there's going to be the Queen's Taste at
Queen's
near
Taste.
Paula Science.
Yep. You know who's going to be here? Both this
Louis. It'll be a
and the
double
other
Louis night.
There will be two
What do
Louis.
you call it, a LL
along
night?
with along with 50 different tables, so
That's
giving
right.
away samples to 700
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah. That's going to be a good night. So make
yeah.
sure you get your tickets for that. That's Queen's
TheQueenstaste.com. All right, guys, thank you very much. As always, we must remind you that there's more information and more accurate information at www.itsinqueens.com. And please follow us on the hashtag It's in Queens. There'll be more information coming forward.
Yeah, check us out on all social media. It's in Queens across all social media.
Anything else?
That's it, baby.
All
Have a
right.
good week, Queens.
Thank you guys very much. Hope to see you in the borough this weekend.